Hello. How y'all doing out there? You caught us watching ourselves, trying to make sure everything is going down the way it's supposed to be going down. Welcome to the You Are Here podcast. I am Michael Storm Miller. This is
Jerome Sconia.
Sconia. It's so funny because the name Sconia isn't like if you see it written down on paper, it's gonna you up every time. I promise you. And I've been trying to remind myself to stop cursing so much.
Oh, we forgot the swear jar we talked about.
Yeah, we need a swear jar up here. That's the Marine Corps way, though. You know, you don't have nothing intelligent to say, just curse. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. Makes you know you're alive. Well, today we are going to be talking about counseling. And as we feel our way through this and we start building things up, we're going to bring you all different topics to help you navigate any struggles that you may be having. You know, so do you want to open up and talk about counseling a little bit?
Yeah, so first I'm going to take these off.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just start with my experience in counseling and what brought me to the strength of the vet centers for me. So when I first got home, I started going through the regular VA. I wasn't even ready mentally for counseling at that point, but regardless, it all kind of turned me off to it all. It was hard bouncing between different counselors and everything, like you've talked about before. They kind of like to cycle through, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But when I decided to finally go back and get help again, I was referred to the vet centers. And I didn't really understand that there was a difference, right? So everything in the vet center is confidential. So much like everything else, but the difference is there's a degree of separation. So if you're going through a claim, or even your intent to file, you haven't even put the claim in yet, you still have to sign off a release for the big VA to come in and look at that as evidence in your claim. Also discovered there's a lot of different reasons to use a vet center, or a lot of eligibility for a vet center, regardless of what you did in service. So you don't need to be in direct combat. That's not a thing at all. As a matter of fact, let's just read what. So let's go with this. The vet center offers ranges of services from talk therapy to recreational activities. Our team will work with you to identify your goals and make a plan to meet them. We'll help you and your family build meaningful connections and improve your quality of life. Our counseling is confidential. We won't share any information about you or the services you receive without your permission, except, this is the big part, life-threatening situations.
Hold on. Can you pause for a second?
Sure.
So for life-threatening situations, you need to understand that that's if you go in. It's like, when I first started going to counseling and I had to get anger management and stuff, I found out in anger management that there is, even though they're there to listen to you, they're there to help you, there are certain things that they're mandated reporters.
Yes.
So if you say, yeah, I'm thinking about, going to work, with an AK, you got what I'm saying? That's a serious, incredible threat coming from trained individuals. You got what I'm saying? So they do have to worry about whether you're going to follow through with what you're saying. If you say to them like, hey, when I get out of here, I'm going to like hurt myself or hurt others, they have to say something about that. So even if that's what you're going through and everything, and I want to tell you honestly, if that's how you feel on the spot, maybe you need to say that. Maybe you need to say that. Maybe that is what will start your journey on getting the help that you need. What's going on, Pete? Pete said, "You're not angry, young man." And what's up, fellas?
So to touch on that real quick, a lot of people are worried about that, right? And what's going to happen to your rights if you get admitted or something because of that. You have to sign yourself in. As long as they come to you and they're like, "Hey, we're going to need you to do like, let me sign myself in." Now you have something to stand on when you get out of there and you're worried about your rights. If you are admitted by them and they have to sign you in and admit you to help, now you can run into those 2A issues we discussed on the first pod. But yeah, I mean, if that's what you're thinking, you need to get the help more than you know. But yeah, so I don't even remember what it was.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all good. All good. Oh yeah, the life-threatening situation. That's just a harm to yourself or others. Now, they also say here, our records cannot be accessed by other VA offices, the Department of Defense, military units, or community providers.
Pause. So I want to let y'all know, in your quest to get rated and everything, I need y'all to know this one thing. All of these organizations that we're speaking on, although they might say veteran and the VA, Veteran Affairs, and Vet Resource Centers, they're all different entities. And so they don't share records between them all. It would be just like if you get a new doctor at a different hospital, then you have to sign a release form for them to get your information. So whatever's going on with you in one space, don't think that all of these spaces are interconnected, because they're not. So in order to get your information, they need your approval. They need your say-so. They can't even look at your history unless you give the permission.
So to tap into that too, I found out because I went to Coatesville to go get the rest of my records. I wanted a complete set of my records. I'd lost everything in a flood. So I found out Lebanon doesn't talk to Coatesville. So like that threw me off, threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But they were able to send a fax for me over to them so that they could mail me out everything that they had.
Yeah.
So depending what region you went to, they don't talk to each other. You have to get those records. So when I submitted my claim through Coatesville, they had no records of anything that went on over at Lebanon.
Yeah.
I also found out there is a form, don't quote me on this, I'll look it up later. I think it is CF 180. And that's for your actual military records. And as long as you can give them the rough dates and places and times and things, if you got treated in a war zone, that's how you get that information. I don't know if anybody else has ever wondered this. I'm like, well, why isn't any of that stuff in my records? Why don't I have any of that? Well, you have to go ahead and get that from the Army or the Marine Corps, whoever.
Yes,
whatever
indeed.
branch. You've got to go and get that from them. But that's easily done.
Yeah. And it's important that you know these things when you get started, because these are the points where you will reach frustration and start saying, you know what, the hell with this or the hell with that, or they not really trying to help me. It's like if you don't understand how all of this works, it is very easy to become discouraged. And becoming discouraged is just going to add on to whatever it is you're going through, your anxiety, your panic. It's going to add on to your PTSD. It's going to help solidify your viewpoint on what the whole situation even is. You got what I'm saying? It's probably the reason why people sometimes pack up and move to the woods and say, oh, you're just trying to screw me. No, it's just a lot of bureaucracy that you have to understand.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's what took the fight away from me the first time.
Yeah.
And here's the bitch of that. I think I wrote a note on another page. Right when you're ready to give up, when you're trying to go through all this, yeah, that's when you need to push through the most. 2014, I had my PTSD diagnosis and never had a clue. It wasn't until I got all my records again and actually went through them properly that I found that actually in there. So like I had everything I needed to get the benefits I wanted, everything that I was fighting for was right there in front of me, and I couldn't see it because I was too blinded. You know, I let them get to me. I let the hurdles and everything that they put you through get to me and just take the fight out of me.
Yeah, but you know what they constantly tell us and reinforce when you're in the military is to drive on, to keep pushing no matter what. Now, if you feel like you're being discouraged, your drive on in your mind may just be, well, I'm going to keep on pushing through my problems, not necessarily pushing through this bureaucracy to get to the services I need. You got what I'm saying? It depends on where you stand and how you look at things.
And back then, the services I received, and I can only speak for myself and my personal stories. I'm sure some of you might be right in line with it. Some of you might be not in line with it. But I didn't feel like they gave a shit when I first started. So I had the first time I went to the VA, mind you, this was right after we got home. It was our first check-in after we got back. Yeah, I threw one of the shrinks out of the office. He came in 30 seconds and diagnosed me, and I didn't understand how that was possible. The man might have been just trying to help me get my claim through, and I didn't realize it at the time because I was so messed up here. But you've got that negative instance.
Well,
then
we're
at my
very
unit,
prideful too.
What's that?
We're very prideful too.
Yes,
We're
and I'd been
taught
like
to
a
be
half an hour
prideful.
into that session and like opened up to this woman like she was Barbara Walters. I let it all out, childhood on up. Like I really let it out because I was scared to come home. I was. So then fast forward a little bit, try and get some help, have a couple of bad therapists, if you will, counselors. Then I get to the TBI test. Now, I filled out one of those famous questionnaires they give us where we all go, no, I don't have more than 3 drinks a week.
Yeah. You don't want to look like alcoholic.
This one was relative to combat. And I had been trying to get help. And I was like, let me fill this thing out honestly. And that put me into, you need to go take a TBI test. Long story short, at the end of that, when they get all the doctors you go to together, this man looked me dead in my eyes and said, why are you here wasting our time?
Ooh.
I threatened bodily harm to that individual and told him I will be across this table before security can get here. You might want to leave. And every other doctor in there was like, I can't believe he just said that to him because I had the discussion like, I don't think I need to be here for this. I don't think I have a TBI. This is just because I did what y'all give us. You know, so real bad taste in my mouth. That was the end of it for me. I didn't want to fight anymore. And so I kind of shut it off. And what Mike likes when I say is that bill of lies. That's when I really bought into my so-called bill of lies. All the little stuff we tell each other, like, someone's worse off than me. I'm not going to take up that space and resource. Until you become the person that you thought you weren't. And you're like,
and you get to see that. And you know what's crazier? To realize that you're that person through other people's eyes. Tia said, hey, guy, looking great today. Don't judge me, but I thought it was 3 of you guys until I looked again and realized it was the juke machine.
Yo, that's funny.
Dawn said, oh, wow. Hello, guys. Hello.
Hello.
So let me tell you something. The weirdest part about everything is I think we all come to a point where we realize that, yeah, it's worse than what we thought, or maybe I'm not managing this as well, you know, and for you, it was that moment. For me, it was the moment that caused me to go get like anger management. And I was upset about something, and I had gotten so tunnel vision on what I was upset about that I did something that to this day, you know, once again, I'm ashamed of. And when I actually went to go talk to the specialist or what have you, the counselor, what wound up happening was I started to open up and really go down the road of what I did. And as I started walking down the road, she stopped me and she said, I need you to know that whatever you say to me, you know, if it's endangering someone else or if it's endangering you, that I have to leave this room and tell someone. And that made me realize, at that point, I was looking at it like this. There's the truth, and then there's the truth. This is the truth that everybody wants to hear. This is the truth you keep to yourself. But as I went along in my journey, I realized something different. It's not that it's the truth and it's the truth. It was only that for me because I didn't want to say anything that would have me committed. I didn't want to say anything that was going to have these people thinking that I was a danger to anyone, because in my mind's eye, I wasn't a danger to no one. And even in that moment that I had did what I'd done, I was like, oh, I'm still okay. And I know that, and I caught myself, and I won't. But then it started to make me afraid, because I started to think, like, what happens if I go past that threshold where I can't catch myself? Is it, to this day, I have a real fear of getting so caught up in my anger, so caught up in my distress. I get so concerned about that because I'm afraid that I'm going to do something that I can't come back from.
Yes.
And so what my therapist calls it is avoidance. I will literally walk, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm starting to think thoughts outside of the conversation, like I could literally, like I've already planned what I was gonna do.
If it went south?
If it goes south, I already know what I'm gonna do. Let me tell you something. If I get to plotting during a conversation, and believe me, my face will be just like this. This will be my normal face. Oh yeah. But I'm thinking in my head I know I need to disengage.
Yes.
I need to walk away because I don't want to test that theory. Noel Watts said, "Hey, what's going on, Noel?" He said, "Truth. You know what I mean? We really have to be able to look at ourselves and everything." But I'll pull back from that so you can dive back in.
Well, I'll go right back to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a big fear of mine as well, especially once me, being in combat, being a gunner, actually having to do my job. We'll leave it at that. I made what I always thought I could do become a reality. It is now not a thought of possibly, it's officially a capability. Now that scared the shit out of me because when I came home, right, if somebody says, "I'll kill you," those words had a different meaning and a different gravity to me at that point.
Ooh, you gave me chill bumps.
Yeah,
You gave me chills.
So I had to utilize a lot of avoidance if I didn't numb myself, because that's the other part of avoidance is when you start to numb. Numbing is when you're getting drunk to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out and be social unless you're drunk, and then you can handle being out and being social.
Let's say drunk or high.
Yeah, or high.
People choose their poison.
I did both.
Yeah.
Flat out, done both.
Yeah.
I recently put my notice in at work because, well, hands near my face are a massive trigger for me. It stems from crowd control, watching hands and everything else. Gets too close to my face, you've gotten too close to me, you become a threat. That's how my mind perceives it, and I react funny. I've actually put my hands up to people on job sites because they had a little malicious intent with the throwing their hands near my face. "Oh, what do you think, I'm gonna hit you?" And they don't know what they're doing to me in my head. And now I'm ready to engage. Now, whatever tool I had in my hand at that time, that's a weapon. And I'm ready to use it. I can't get that way. I can't be that way. That's not okay.
No, it's not.
So counseling had been pushing me for a long time to get out of that. So I was going daily in and out of being triggered.
Yeah.
Because even the sounds and the flash, being a welder, I got what's perceived as muzzle flashes out of the corner of my eye all the time.
Yeah.
And being a gunner, I got to pay attention for that. That's never left my mind. That gunner's mentality has never left me. So you've got that, and you've got the loud bangs that sound like, it's metal fabrication. You're going to hear steel on steel. If you've been in a turret and heard a round hit the armor, I mean, if it's even close to it, it'll provoke some memory. And now your intrusive thoughts kick in.
Yeah.
which I didn't even know that was what they were. But now that I've been through counseling, I can understand that.
Let me tell you something though. It's so funny because even when you do the questionnaires for counseling, they'll ask you, is there anything that you thought about but didn't want to think about? And I never understood that. Like before, I'm like, well, we control our thoughts. We know what we want to think about, what we don't. If I don't want to think about this, I just think about something else. And it's literally not that easy. It's
Well, you see the memes.
Yeah.
That say, oh, they're letting the intrusive thoughts win and they push somebody over.
Yeah.
I actually brought that up in counseling. They're getting pushed into the water or someone kicking your foot from behind.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff we used to play back in the day.
yeah.
And she looked at me and she goes, that's not an intrusive thought. I'm like, what? She's like, that's not intrusive thoughts. It's just me.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so explain it to me. And she's, a thought that intrudes in your mind when you don't want it there. And I'm like,
even if you're having a good time, that's the weird part. You could be having a good time and somebody do something or something happens and it takes a split second to be somewhere else. It takes a split second to be somewhere else. And the problem is most of the time, your family, your friends, people don't quite understand and they want to push you. They think they're helping you. People don't realize
or
how
they don't
sometimes,
say anything because they don't know how to.
Yeah, people don't realize how sometimes your help can hurt somebody. You got what I'm saying? So you see somebody, you know they going through things. You want them to come out of it. You want them to have a good time. You want them to loosen up. And meanwhile, through your innocent actions, you could be pushing them closer to an edge. And so that's why it's important for us to seek out counseling because we need to be more self-aware. We can't count on the people outside of us to know when we're having a moment or to even understand.
Everyday people don't have the tools that I have now gotten through counseling.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, counseling, I don't want to talk about if I have daddy issues or mommy issues from when I was a kid. Let me tell you how much I've talked about that. None. None. Does it come up in certain circumstances? Sure. But I address it because it's one of the larger stigmas, especially towards men. Yeah. Right? Especially towards us.
We was talking about that earlier, just about how a lot of times we be thinking, oh, well, you know, somebody else needs that more than I do. And oh, well, you know, I got it under control. And I think just as
we see this weakness.
Or perceived as weakness, I think just as men, we are put in a certain light from birth just because we're male. And they talk about gender roles, this, that, the third. But let me tell you, in real life, there is an expectation put on a male's shoulders, and it is like we are indoctrinated to that from the time that we're little. Suck it up. We're indoctrinated to the whole suck it up mentality, to the whole responsibility.
What are you crying for? I'll give you a reason to cry.
Exactly. And I get it. Maybe it speaks to the more animal parts of us, survival. You don't have time to cry. Like when people are shooting at you, you don't have time to cry. You don't have time to process. You only have time for action. That is it. And that is how our lives are kind of carved out for us as men. And we put that same mantle upon ourselves, which makes it even harder. We think about how it is not only perceived by other people, but we say far worse things to ourselves than you could ever say.
Oh, yeah. Like, the things I've said a few inches from the mirror? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you oh, man.
Yeah.
Try sitting down, looking in the mirror, and absolutely not recognizing the person you see.
Yeah.
The person you've looked at your whole life. I'm just starting to see me again. So let's make no mistakes about this either. I'm only 2 years into counseling right now, and I know that somebody might go, only 2 years? That's a long time. No, it went by real quick.
Yeah.
And it's not even long enough yet. I'm so comfortable with going now. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
because it alleviates the stresses, especially
It's like
group.
a pressure release valve.
Oh my God, group is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Because I got my brothers and sisters around me that get it.
Yeah.
They get it. You
Yeah.
don't have somebody, because that was one of the worst things as a counselor, from counselors I ever heard. And I told this counselor that because she asked me, what is it you need from me? And more importantly, what is it that you do not need from me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said to her, don't ever let me hear the words, I can't fathom what that's like.
Yeah.
I can't understand what that's like. If you can't fathom or understand what I'm saying that I'm trying to go through, how the hell can you help me?
Sit here and even talk to me? And this is the odd part about everything is that I honestly believe in every fiber of my being, the best people to be around is people who went through what I went through, because there is no need to explain. We don't have to explain a little shit. I could start off half of a sentence and this man can topple in and just say, oh yeah, because this. And you're like, yeah, you know, that's right. I don't never have to feel inadequate in speaking. I don't have to worry about anybody's feelings. I don't have to worry about people turning around and projecting their insecurities onto me. So I have to now ignore what I'm feeling to make sure that they're feeling okay, just so that I can be okay in a space. That's ridiculous. It is too many obstacles in regular conversations when you went through everything that you've gone through. So if you don't know nothing about it, or if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I can't fathom, then you're in the wrong space.
Yeah.
And Teddy said, you guys are doing important work. Good job. Keep it up. Thank you,
Thanks,
Teddy.
Ted.
Appreciate that. You know what I mean? So the important thing, because we can get to talking and get so involved in our experiences, and we really have to keep pushing out information.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to what the eligibility is, right?
The eligibility
For being able to go to a vet center, right? These are congressionally mandated centers. Like these were put there for a reason. What I'm about to read to you came from va.gov. So, if you are a veteran or service member, including National Guard or Reserves, you're eligible to meet any of these service requirements. You're eligible if you meet any of these service requirements. You served on active duty in a combat theater or area of hostility. You've provided mortuary services or direct emergency medical care to treat the casualties of war while on active duty. You were a member of an unmanned aerial vehicle crew that provided direct support to operations in a combat theater or area of hostility.
Bro, so can you expand on that? That last one.
The last one, the crew members?
For like drones and things of that nature.
So if you deal with drones, UAVs, anything like that, because you got people in Nevada that are flying the drones that were watching us in Afghanistan.
And people tend to think that drone operators and things like that don't have. It's so a shame. It's such a shame about how people have to validate themselves and their experiences to others. People will oftentimes say that people who pilot drones and stuff, like, how do they got PTSD? How do they this? One, nobody's shooting at them or whatever. But can you just imagine for 1 second, and this once again is something that give me freaking chills. Can you imagine for 1 second that there was 20 people occupying a building? 20 people who woke up this morning, brushed their teeth, kissed their kid goodbye, kicked their dog. I don't know. I don't know. But can you imagine you're the person behind this vehicle of destruction? You get to see on a screen as an area lights up and every heat signature that was there is gone. Just like that. Like
scattered.
You have to deal with the fact that you ended them.
Yeah.
You were their last 15 minutes of life. You watched them on your way into their destruction, and all they knew is they was going to go home tonight and eat a ham sandwich. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Just because it looks like a video game,
yeah, it
doesn't mean it is.
not. It's
not.
real as excuse me. I see right now who will be filling up the swear jar.
Oh, it'll be both of us. You just ain't got me to. I'll get in that zone too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure if any of my family's watching this right now, they're proud of me for how little I've cussed.
Yeah. So I just want y'all to know that and I didn't mean to go off on that tangent,
it's all good.
but I needed people to understand that, you know, sometimes as service members, depending on the job you had, you may feel unworthy. You may feel that you don't deserve this kind of help, and you're thinking about the guy that had to take a man's life with his bare hands, or you're thinking about that sniper or that guy in the turret. You're thinking about all of these things and how much more integral they were to the whole process than you are, but it's not comparative. No. You can't compare your experience to someone else to deem whether you're worthy or not for help, because if you need it, you need it.
Exactly. Now, to get like away from combat for a second, the next one on the list is this. You served on active duty in response to a national emergency or major disaster declared by the president or under the orders of the governor or chief executive of a state in response to a disaster or civil disorder.
So
okay.
Pause.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm absolutely going to pause on that.
Go ahead, bro.
So being a National Guardsman, I was on numerous state activations, whether it was states of emergency for snow or the one that stands out the most in my mind, Superstorm Sandy. When that hit, I left school early, right before finals. I spent 10 days with nothing but cold water and no electricity at the Gap because people that were in such dire situations needed us to run food and water to different distribution points in the northeast portion of the country. Like some of our stuff, we dropped off trailers like upstate Pennsylvania a little bit that wound up going into New York and got transferred here and there. We had a lot of stuff that we had to do when we get called upon for natural disasters and things. So if you've done that, congratulations. You never had to go to combat anything, but you got to serve under those orders, you are eligible.
Yeah, but
so you don't have to be in combat to be eligible for care here.
I also want to add on to that, just so, and I struggle to talk about this because this point in my life had really affected me in a great way. Katrina. So when Katrina happened, so we think about people losing power and things of that nature, which is horrible. We think about people losing communications. You don't know how long it's going to take for anybody to come when you may need somebody the most. And whenever I think about Katrina, it actually brings tears to my eyes because it was like looking at a third world country on TV. But it was a surreal moment. It was kind of like watching those buildings collapse on 9/11, where I'm like, this can't be happening. But you're watching it happen. So just think about all of those people who may have just been in the reserves or the National Guard, who went down to help out in these situations, the things that they may have saw, the things that
the bodies they recovered,
strained you emotionally. Let me tell you something. Watching suffering, that hit different. Watching suffering. Even let me tell you something. When we was in Afghanistan and we would go on the road and I would see them kids out there, let me tell y'all something. I used to go to the PX and freaking get extra stuff just to be able to throw food and like that out to the kids, because let me tell you something, watching suffering, it breaks something in you. And you cannot go back to living the same life when you watch people struggle. So all of those folks who was in the National Guard and in the reserves that had to help, that literally,
I believe active components too on that.
Yeah.
On Katrina? Yeah.
That literally, like, it's when they say, some of us, some give some and some give all. You got what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
All gave some of us gave all.
and some of us gave all. That's just to mean the ultimate sacrifice when you give all. But all giving some, imagine giving up that part of you that believed that things like this didn't exist or you would never see it. See, TV separates ourselves from reality. But when you take that off the screen and you're viewing that in real time, man, let me tell you something. You'll never be the same. You will never be the same.
You just hit something real
You'll
solid.
never be the same.
Where is
I
it?
think about that now. I can't even watch certain on TV because I feel like I'll just break down in tears, even if it's no reason to cry. Like, I know this is TV. I know somebody wrote a script, but it just, ever since being involved with certain I can't look at that. I can't look at that. It takes away your peace. And like you said, you've been in counseling for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been in counseling now for probably about 7. And I'm working. And I'll tell anybody I'm way better off than what I used to be, but I am nowhere near who I used to be. And all the innocence of everything is gone because all I can see is the reality of everything. Like, we get 50-second blurbs on the news, and then that's that. You got what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's
So this is what's left of 10 Afghanis that a little girl gave me. I believe I was with, we'll call him Pappy.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I don't throw people's names out.
Yeah.
That's been in my wallet ever since we were overseas.
Yeah.
Because that child, that little girl, would not let me close the door on the truck. I wasn't in the turret this time. I was driving a cargo carrying vehicle. She would not let me close that door until I took that, because she wouldn't take everything we loaded her up with without giving me something. Like, even a child in the most desperate of places and desperate of times would not take something for nothing.
Yeah.
That hit me.
Well, you know what? It's a difference between being thankful and grateful, because that was all she probably had. But she was so grateful for what you bought to her. We don't even know if it was safe for her to go into like a marketplace.
Well, it wasn't safe for those kids to do that. Like, so a little female, right? And when I say a small female, this girl might have been 6 years old at the most. But those 10 to 16-year-old boys that were along that road with her, we had to make sure we got her like 100 yards away from them, because they'll beat the shit out of her just to take it.
Bro, let me tell you.
It's dog eat dog in some parts of this world that people talk about, you know, I don't want to go that deep off into the weeds. I'm going to go way left on that.
Don't worry, I was about to pull you back because I thought you was getting ready to go in another place, and I was going to be like, well, let's get back to the list here.
Let's get back to business. So, all right, let's get back to this information. So, if you're a current or former member of the Coast Guard who participated in a drug interdiction operation, so if you're one of those cool dudes in the Coast Guard to get to hop off the boat and bang on top of that narco submarine and get them out of there, hey, you're eligible too.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I swear to God, those are some of the sickest videos ever. We all make fun of the coasties, but bro, some of them, and rescue swimmers, those,
no doubt,
bad to the bone. If you are a current member of the reserve component assigned to a military command in drill status, including active reserves, and you need to address a behavioral health condition or psychological trauma that is related to your military service. Okay, if you are a veteran or service member, including National Guard and Reserves, you are also eligible for Vet Center services if any of these descriptions are true for you. You're a Vietnam-era veteran who used Vet Center services before January 2nd, 2013. You experienced a military sexual trauma. Anyone from any service era.
Pause. So, let me be the first to say this is if you're male or female.
Yep.
Male or female. Let me tell you something though. Sexual trauma is like, it's real. And a lot of us think that it is only like relegated to female, but it's truly not. But in any instance, it's a horrible thing. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
encountered that twice.
Yeah.
Not to me.
Okay,
but
I was a little like
there was no. So AIT, we were locked down right away.
Yeah.
Because there was a male on male instance. When we were in Afghanistan, there was someone running at night by himself. If you recall that.
I remember that.
And,
I
you know,
remember that.
so it happens. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. If you currently use any covered VA educational assistance benefits, now think about that. If you're going to school and things are just a little tough for you and you just need a little help, you need someone to talk to, you're using your VA benefits to do it? Sweet. You have access to it. You can go do that. That's kind of huge,
Yeah,
especially in today's climate.
It is.
Because the way schools are now, the amount of stress these kids are under and everything else, it's through the roof.
Yeah.
You've got students out like, okay, so wasn't there a shortage on Adderall at one point?
Yeah.
Because it was getting sold around campuses like candy.
Yeah.
People popping them like
People
freaking
trying
Tic
to
Tacs.
keep up with the stresses of trying to, hold up expectations. People trying
Unrealistic deadlines.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's the crazier part. Just imagine yourself being a vet, being enrolled in school and trying to rebuild your life or become relevant in a space that you feel you hold no relevance in.
Yeah.
Because most of us as veterans, and I mean, disagree if you would like, most of us as veterans, we are most at home. Like if you're a gunner, you're most at home with your guns and coming into a world where now you work in, I don't know, in a business office or you work, it's easy to feel inadequate or like you don't understand or irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because what you feel is your actual talent or what your specialty is not even being utilized. That's why most people go and they just feel like the Walking Dead, in these spaces.
So let's expand upon what's covered under educational assistance benefits, what they actually mean, right? Montgomery GI Bill for active duty, Montgomery GI Bill Select Reserve, post 9/11 GI Bill, VR&E, which is Veteran Readiness and Employment, and VEAP, Veterans Educational Assistance Program.
So always an acronym.
Yep, everything's an acronym in the military.
Everything's an acronym. Damn real.
So that is basically everything on that as far as eligibility goes. Now, the next thing that they have listed on their site to go right down the sheet is, remember, you don't need to be enrolled. You do not need to be enrolled in VA healthcare to be eligible for vet center services. You do not need to have service-connected disability. And you can have any, this is huge, any character of discharge.
That is really huge.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those of you that you've got that bad conduct discharge of some kind, even you still have help here if you meet those other requirements.
You do.
If you've got a DD-214 and you meet any one of those requirements, congratulations. You have help.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
Take it.
And just to tell you, once again, it is the difference between a vet center, and the VA. There is help out there. And whatever, let's say you had a dishonorable discharge. Okay, you may not be eligible for, all of the bells and whistles, but that don't mean that you will not be eligible for something else through the VA center.
You're not fully hung out to dry.
Yeah.
Now, here's the next thing. You can use our counseling and other support services when your participation would support the growth and goals of the veteran or service member in your family. If the veteran or service member considers you family, so do we. Now, what that gets into, as far as I understand, and I know from some of the guys that I'm actually in group with, they've brought their wives in. Like, a big problem that we all have, right? Now, I'm single, so I don't actually have this issue when it comes to a significant other, but I have struggled communicating with my family. I absolutely have. And it's a pill to swallow.
Yeah, yeah.
But we can get into that later. If you're having trouble at home and you're in here talking to your counselor, you can absolutely have them bring in your significant other.
Yeah. And
You can bring your kid in if you're having trouble with your kid. The troubles that your kid are having are affecting you and your help. That aligns with you and your goals of getting help. You can come in and your kid can sit down and actually get some help too right beside you. But somebody can help mediate these situations with you.
But this may be a huge difference as well. Like going through the VA, you know, everything has to be like, okay, a wife, children, or what have you.
Yeah.
But a vet center, and them saying, you know, if you consider them family, we do, that could be a girlfriend.
That's a little bit different, and I would have to get further information on that, and I absolutely will.
Yeah.
I think what this is more speaking to at that point is like the bereavement services, okay? When you're dealing with losses and things like that. So you can use our bereavement services if any of these descriptions are true for you and your family. The veteran or service member died while serving on active duty, or the veteran was using vet center services at the time of their death, or the veteran or service member died by suicide.
That's a big one.
Yes, that's a very big one. So, any of you out there that lost your loved one to that, and they were a service member, and you're struggling, bring proof of their service. Go to a vet center. Look at the nearest one near you. You can go on to va.gov, type in vet centers, and you'll find the locator because they're everywhere. And you can go and actually get help or get someone to talk to, someone that's actually trained to deal with that specifically. So we've been dealing with this for over 20 years. There's that much experience now that has changed a lot of the stuff that goes on with counselors at the VA. Now, vet centers, they are more specifically readjustment counselors. That's the term I see constantly over and over again. Even on the card for mine, it says straight up, readjustment counselor. But we're also talking PhD, NCC, LPC. Like, these people are very, very qualified.
They have a bunch of alphabets after their name.
Yeah. You have to have, I believe, don't quote me again, I believe it is a doctorate.
Yeah.
Or a master's in order to be a counselor there.
Yeah.
So, like, this isn't somebody that just got a 2-year degree and did some kind of peer counseling program that they can now be a peer counselor and help you through things. No, these are legitimately trained people. And I can tell you right now, I can only speak for Norristown's location, which is the Montgomery County Vet Center. I've yet to meet anybody in there that isn't professional to a T, right? These people care, they help you, they give a shit.
Well, I want everybody to know as well that counseling is not a magical service. It's not one of those things that you're going to go to one session and just feel great about life or great about yourself. It's not going to make everything disappear because, as you said, you've been doing about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've been doing several, really. Like, I've been in counseling for a long time. And actually, I've had psychologists, psychiatrists, two different things, counselors. I've went through different programs where they were trying new therapies out, and not because of any other reason other than I want to feel better. I want to get as close to who I used to be as possible. And even going at this rate, I don't see that happening within my lifetime, but it does not make me feel hopeless because all I know is after all of this time, I don't feel how I used to feel, how I first felt. I'm not in that boat anymore. I recognize things about myself. But see, it's funny. We live behind our own eyes.
Yes.
And so, in living behind our own eyes, we don't see everything. Some things we may not be educated on. Some we might be having the experience, but not educated enough to actually strategize something or to even know what something is called or to even recognize a pattern within us. So when we get into a room where it is somebody who is trained to literally guide you in the right direction, because they're not going to push you nowhere. They're going to let you talk. And what happens is when they have to add something or interject something,
Up.
yeah, yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. When it comes time for you to take responsibility, like in accountability, and a lot of times those things bring forth aha moments. And even though you have that aha moment, now you're aware. And once you're aware, when things are happening in real time, it gives you more space to navigate it differently.
You stop for a second.
Yeah,
you have a healthy hesitation
Exactly.
before engaging in whatever it is that has just triggered you.
And
I know
that-
a lot of people hate that word.
Yeah.
I hate the hell
Well,
out of it. I really do. But it is what it is. It's the actual definition. And that when you spoke on that, when you can understand what things are.
Yeah.
Definitions
It
was
matters,
probably one of
man.
my largest helps, Mike.
Yeah.
It really was.
It matters.
Because now I have a name to it.
Yeah.
Now it feels like something more tangible to me versus something that's completely misunderstood.
And you got to realize that this stuff that's going down, I got ready to curse and I caught myself. This stuff that's going
Awareness.
down, it's not something that you happen to, it's something that happened to you. So you're not responsible for what it is that you're going through. I feel like you only bear responsibility when you don't look at yourself and realize, understand, and recognize that you need help. That you need help. That's not a weakness. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's just literally not. I remember going in there, you know, and the young lady that I was speaking to, number one, because she was a woman and she was a good looking woman, you know, it's so funny the programs that are running in the back of your mind when you walk into the room.
Oh, yeah.
The judgments that you have, the biases that you have that come out just walking into the room and trying to get past those, the things, the barriers that keep you back from success. It's when you approach these situations, you just got to do it as best you can with an open mind.
Yes.
With an open mind. We are rounding up on about 7 minutes left.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead.
All right. So to tap into that real quick, I wrote a question down for this podcast I wanted everybody to kind of ask, right? I want you to ask yourself this. Is doing the hard thing in life a sign of weakness or a sign of strength? Because I'll tell you right now, it's extremely hard to reach out and get that help. Is that weak? No. You know how much strength that takes? And then to stick with it, that stick-to-itness that people like to say.
Yeah.
That is not weakness. Not even close. Not even close. You know what weakness was? Here we go. Weakness is the regret I have now that I lost the last, we'll call it 8 years of time I had with my mother because of my isolation. That my 80-year-old mother can't get back with her son, and I can't get back with her, and I don't know how much longer I have with her. I let this affect me so long because I let it weaken me like that. It took a lot of strength to pull myself out of that shit and go get some help. That's anybody thinking you're weak for getting help, that's a fallacy. It's a falsehood.
Yes, indeed.
Don't believe it.
Yes, indeed. And don't think that you have to, you know, feel ashamed of it. Once again, it's nothing to feel ashamed of. If anything, because I sought out help and because I still actively, you know, receive help, I think it's added to the quality of my life. And I do have good days and I have bad days. And sometimes
Absolutely.
the situations around me become really hard and unbearable at times. And sometimes I can go to the worst places in my mind, and the honest to God truth is when I do feel myself in the worst spaces, I do think back on strategies that were given to me, certain truths that I may have faced during therapy that made me understand me more. And that kind of, in a way, becomes the pressure release valve in the moment to realize, okay, is this my perception or reality? Is this my perception wrapped in my feelings in the moment? Is this my anxiety driving the bus right now? Sometimes I have to step outside of myself. And let me tell you something. It is when I find myself getting really upset about something, I have to step outside of myself so that I could look at it through reality's eyes and I can calm myself down and I can grab hold of myself. Because the one thing I do realize, like I realized going to war, sometimes there is no help coming. Sometimes you're going to be in a space where it's just you. And you have to bring yourself back from the edge. You have to be strong enough and resilient enough to do that, and it's hard. It's hard, but man, life is hard.
It's a whole lot easier with those tools, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
the tools you never had in your belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
I
you
can
do.
only imagine where I would be at today had I not did what I had to do.
I can.
Yeah.
I'd be in a box.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be in jail because I'd be done freaking chainsawed everything. I'd be, what is it, Ed Gein, whatever his name was. I'll be doing some crazy shit because I don't know, for me, I try to make sense out of everything. And sometimes there's no sense to be made. Sometimes you just have
You're
to.
overthinking everything.
Yeah.
You're looking for something that doesn't exist.
And sometimes you just got to accept it. I have no control over anyone else. And everybody's not going to make the decisions that I make. And everybody's not going to move the way that I would move if they were me. And it's not going down that way. So if everything worked that way, then everything would make sense to you. Yeah. And so sometimes you got to be okay with everything just being what it is.
Yeah, you can't Monday morning quarterback yourself every time.
No,
you're going to drive yourself insane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
But, wow.
We got through it.
I think we did, brother. I think we did. I hope we gave you guys some good information. Any of you guys, if you want to leave something in the comments, or feel free to hit the DMs. Like, if you want to stay anonymous with it, that's fine. Let us know what you want to hear about next. And we'll see what we can do and try and incorporate it in the next one or make a whole other episode about it.
Yeah. And also, what you see in front of you now is the National Suicide Hotline. If you call in 988, and we've done it ourselves.
We just did it earlier today.
We just did it earlier to check it out before we pass the information on to you. If you call that 988 number on your cell phone, you can text it as well. They also have a spot for deaf and hard of hearing. If you call them, it's going to literally tell you who they are. Then it's going to speak in Spanish for a moment, just telling you if you need Spanish, to press 2. And the first thing they say after that is, if you're a veteran, press 1.
If you're a veteran in crisis.
If you're a veteran in crisis, press 1. So I left that information up there extra long so you can screenshot it. If you didn't have any idea or any thought to screenshot it, I put it up again right now. So just take a couple seconds, even if you don't feel like you're in crisis, even if you're not going through anything, but just to have it in your phone, just 988. Just dial it. And if you need to talk about anything, if you need to talk, because most of the time we live in a world where no one hears us. It's good to be able to call a place and feel that you've been heard. And there is so many things I want to say when it comes down to these hotlines, but I'm not going to kick that right now. Maybe one day we'll have that conversation. And
I've got one more thing.
Go ahead, sir.
So I just want to put this out there for any of you ladies who are a little higher in age. Okay. The Montgomery County Vet Center, come January, is going to be starting classes to assist women going through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. You do have to go and get enrolled at that vet center. So go ahead on in. Did you get that up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's on the screen. Go ahead and screenshot that. That counselor is also my individual counselor and my group counselor. I will vouch for that woman 100%. That's the other thing. Ladies, you're going to have a female counselor. All right? She's fantastic. If you're having trouble with that, just show up. Go in, talk to them, get enrolled, and you can go to that class. You don't have to go to individual counseling. You don't have to go to anything else if you don't want to. But if you're struggling with that, because, wow, with women, and you know, you've got daughters, stuff like that. Like you've got a lot of women in your life. I've had a lot of women in my life. I'm the youngest of 5 and the only boy. Right? My mother's 80 years old. I've seen firsthand what that does to women. Oh yeah, it's rough. It's brutal. Ladies, you got some help there for you. As long as you meet the requirements for anything else at a VA vet center, you've got some help for that.
And just to add on to that, you know, you have to realize that if you're going through like menopause and things of that nature, you know, people are quick to label you as you're crazy. People wind up not really listening because they feel like, you know, you're just being, you know, like a jerk or what have you. I don't want to get too deep into it, but what I'm saying to you is this: regardless to how people may feel, you know, when you're going through your change in life, please know that help is like available, and you need that. You need strategies for coping with that because you're going through something that you've never been through before. And guess what? There are no roadmaps. You got what I'm saying? No one is coming down to, you know, sit down and talk to you. Well, you know, it's that time for you, and you know it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, so you got to kind of reach out and get the help that you need, because a lot of times it's not going to come to you. And speaking to people who don't know anything about it or who have never been through it, you got what I'm saying? They're going to advise you, and they're going to advise you wrong. It's not because they don't love you. It's not that they're not trying to help you, but they might not even know.
That they may not know they're going through it.
Yeah.
Because women don't always hit it at the same age.
Yeah.
That's a whole other pod you could probably do. I think we're going to stay away from that one.
Yeah,
but
we have to. We have to, because I feel like if we're going to talk about that, really, we probably need...
We need a lot more research.
Yeah, and I probably, you know, a woman present that is or has been through that, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of changes.
I agree with that.
Something big to deal with. But...
Hey, ladies, if that's what you want, tell us, comment, DMs, hit us up.
Yeah, let us know something. And as always, we appreciate you guys coming out. We will be back again in 2 weeks. That's 2 Saturdays from now. And when we come back, well, prior to us, you know, coming back, we will have some information out to let you guys know what the next topic will be. So if you have any ideas or anything that you want to send through, you know, please do that, and we can try to incorporate it if it goes along with the plan of what we're doing. You got what I'm saying? So I appreciate all y'all coming out. And
thank y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So until next time, peace.